Hi yogis, and welcome to this quick yoga sequence for healthy digestion and IBS relief. When you're ready today, we are going to begin class lying all the way down on our backs. When you arrive, you can begin to cultivate some deep breaths in and out. Maybe taking a deep breath in through your nose and exhaling out the mouth. Let's do that once more. A big inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. On your next inhale, begin to bring both knees in toward your chest, giving yourself a little squeeze. Releasing the left leg long back on the mat, keeping the right knee drawn in. Squeeze your right knee as far up as it feels comfortable for you today. We're going to take a twist from here, exhaling our right knee all the way up and over to the left. You can bring your right hand out to the side for a deeper twist. Coming back to center, let's draw both knees in toward our chest once more. Switching sides, let's extend our right leg all the way long on the mat this time, keeping our left knee drawn in. Give it a squeeze before releasing to our supine twist on the side. Left knee comes all the way up and over toward the right. Breathe here. Coming back to center, drawing both knees in toward the chest. We're going to now roll over to our left side into the fetal position. Both knees draw toward the left. You can use your left bicep as a pillow. Let's take a long, deep inhale here and exhale. Take a few more breaths here, feeling the grounding of the earth supporting you. When you're ready, using your hands to press to a seated pose, an easy cross-legged pose. Let's take a twist from here, inhaling your hands to the sky and exhaling your left hand to your right knee, and your right hand swims behind you, looking over your right shoulder. Keeping a long, straight spine. Inhale both hands back to the sky. Let's go to the other direction. On your exhale, your right hand releases to your left knee, left hand behind you. Keeping that long, straight spine, look over your left shoulder. Breathe here. Come back to center. From here, we're going to roll onto our hands and knees, stacking our shoulders over wrists, hips over knees on all fours. From here, we'll go through a couple rounds of cat-cow. On your inhale, drop your belly and lift your gaze, look up. And exhale, begin to tuck chin to chest, rounding through the spine. Inhale, once again, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. And exhale, round in. From here, come back to a neutral spine, all fours. Let's move into thread the needle, starting on the right. On your inhale, lift your right hand up to the sky, really opening up through the chest. And on your exhale, release your right hand all the way under your left, right shoulder coming to the mat, and your right ear as well. You can use your left fingers to gently push into the mat for a deeper twist. Go ahead and come back up to your neutral tabletop pose, and we'll move through thread the needle on the other side. This time lifting the left hand to the sky, opening up through the chest, and exhale, begin to bring your left shoulder all the way down to the mat, threading your fingers underneath your right, left ear coming down to the mat, pushing into your right hand for some added support. Go ahead and release back to tabletop pose. From here, let's wake up our core just for a moment, pushing in to both hands energetically. See if you can also now push into the tops of your feet and gently lift your knees, hovering them just a few centimeters off the mat. Holding here, feeling strong and supported through your core. And exhale, release your knees back down. We'll come into our first downward facing dog. From here, when you're ready, walk your hands slightly forward, tuck through the toes, and send your hips up and back. Pushing through your index finger and thumb to straighten out through your arms, straighten out through your spine, even if that means there is a deep bend in your knees. That is totally okay. You can walk your dog out here by bending into one knee and then the other. From here, come into stillness in your down dog for a moment. Begin to look forward, and we're going to take a nice slow walk to meet at the top of our mat. So when you're ready, begin to walk your feet toward your hands, and we'll meet in a forward fold at the top of our mat. When you arrive, maybe grab onto opposite elbows and sway back and forth, side to side. Really release through your head and neck, no tension there. Release your fingertips to the mat if you were grabbing onto opposite elbows. From here, we're going to step our right foot all the way to the back of the mat, releasing through the leg, knee down, and you're in your low lunge. Fingertips can stay on the mat here, just stretching out through the hip. Let's add a twist by planting our right hand on the mat, lifting your left hand up to the sky. Maybe your gaze lifts as well. Go ahead and release your left hand back down to the mat. Centering here for a moment, begin to straighten through your right knee, lifting the knee up off the mat. Press down through your front foot and come up into high lunge, crescent lunge, arms lifting overhead. Perhaps interlace your fingers behind your head, elbows wide to really stretch out through the chest. Maybe look up. Go ahead and release your hands to your hips, and we're going to straighten through both legs and shift to a wide-legged pose. So shift both feet parallel to the short edges of the mat, facing to the side. Bring your heels in and toes out and gently settle your hips down, bending through your knees into goddess pose. Draw your tailbone toward the floor, arms out shoulder height, and elbows bent so your fingers will be pointing up toward the sky. See if you can sit a bit deeper in your goddess pose. This pose is grounding and helps us build heat and strength. One more breath here. Great job, yogis. Release your hands down to your knees. We'll take a spinal twist here in our goddess pose. Inhale, long straight spine, and exhale, drop your left shoulder toward your right knee. Twist. Inhale back to center, and let's move to the other side. Go ahead and drop your right shoulder toward your left knee. Let's come back up to center. Go ahead and straighten both legs. Make sure your feet are again parallel to the short edges of the mat. Hands come to hips, and let's go ahead and take a wide-legged forward fold to release. Inhale, long straight spine, and exhale, go ahead and fold all the way down. Top of your head comes toward the mat. You can release your hands to the mat as well and just stretch it out in this wide-legged forward fold. One more breath here. Go ahead and begin to walk your hands toward the top of the mat. We're going to be framing our front foot again, so go ahead and pivot your feet back to low lunge and framing your front foot with both hands. Go ahead and step your right foot to meet the left, and we're back in our forward fold at the top of the mat. Great job, yogis. Take a breath here. And exhale, release. Let's move to the other side, this time stepping your left foot all the way back, lowering through the left knee, and you're in your low lunge on this side. Fingertips can stay framing your front foot. Go ahead and just stretch out through your hip. Find what feels good here. Plant your left hand on the mat, reaching your right hand up toward the sky for an easy twist. And release your fingertips back to the mat, framing the front foot. Go ahead and lift through your left knee. Press down through your front foot and come up into our crescent lunge on this side. Arms lift overhead. You can interlace your fingers behind your head again in the same variation we took on the other side, or maybe just cactus your arms out to the side. Either way, just make sure your elbows are pulling outward, really opening up through the chest here. Bringing your hands back to your hips, straightening through both legs. Let's set up for our wide-legged pose yet again. Shifting both feet parallel to the short edges of the mat. But this time, let's toe heel our feet a bit closer together as we prepare to settle down into a yogi squat. So your feet will be about hip width distance, maybe a bit further apart. Toes out, heels in, begin to lower your hips toward the mat. Coming into yogi squat, your heels can be lifted here or they can be flat on the mat. Hands in prayer in front of your chest, thighs slightly under, slightly wider than your torso. Press your elbows into your thighs to gently guide them open and breathe. Take one more inhale here. Go ahead and release your hands and come to seated. We're going to be slowly lowering all the way to our backs. Once you find your way there, we're going to be setting up for a few rounds of bridge pose. On your back, your knees are bent and the soles of your feet are on the mat. With your arms along your sides, you should be able to just gently tickle the backs of your heels. Then you know you have proper alignment to set up for this bridge pose. On your next inhale, push into your feet and begin to lift your hips up to the sky, keeping your knees energetically drawing toward one another. Hold here and exhale, release. Hips to the mat. Let's come into our bridge pose once more. On your inhale, hips lift. Again, this time you can take the option to interlace your hands under your tailbone and push into your arms to perhaps lift your hips even a bit more. Hold here, breathing. And exhale, release your hips back down. Go ahead and draw your knees in and give them a squeeze. Knees to chest. From here, let's set up for happy baby pose. Reaching your arms on the inside of your knees to grab the outer edges of your feet. Knees are bent in toward your armpits. Maybe rock a bit side to side in this happy baby pose. Go ahead and release. From here, yogis, you have the option to come into a traditional shavasana by extending your legs long on the mat, or as an option, we can do legs up the wall, which is a great restorative pose that has an amazing effect on your nervous system and circulation. If you have a wall nearby, you can position your hips as close as possible to it and rest your legs up and on the wall. If not, you can simply do this pose by lifting your legs, or using a block under your tailbone can also help. Once you find your final resting pose today, I invite you to arrive here by taking a long inhale through your nose and exhale, release through your mouth. Again, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. The twisting poses we did in class today apply a gentle pressure to our abdomen, which is great for IBS relief and digestion, like a gentle massage. But one reason yoga also helps with digestion is it helps calm the sympathetic nervous system. And poses like legs up the wall or shavasana are calming and stress relieving. So give yourself the gift of the next few moments of stillness. As always, yogis, I invite you to stay here in your resting pose for as long as your day allows. Thank you so much for joining me for this class today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Be well. Namaste.